location column, that was when we splitted the city and the state into two, and we used an Excel function called text to column. We didn't touch the headquarters. We also splitted the minimum and the maximum column, so the number of employees. So we didn't touch the year that it was founded. We didn't touch this column, and I think basically that was what we did. And we just did replace for the easy apply. And I also told us that any other thing that we haven't done, you should try as much as possible to clean it. So that was where we ended the class yesterday. So I don't know whether anybody has any question from yesterday's class before we proceed into today's section. Any question? I'm trying to join on my phone so that I can also access your question. Glory, please, if I have questions, you can do well to read it out to me while I try to join on my phone.
Yes, sure. No problem.
Did you try to practice? Do you have any question? All right, so I want to believe there is no question, right?
Adenike, we have two raised hands, Oyinkosola and Kosi.
Okay. So let's quickly take that before you can mute them. You can unmute them.
Yeah, so Oyinkosola, you can speak now. I already unmuted you. Same with Kosi.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening. Adenike is fine.
Okay, I want to ask a question about yesterday class, and thank you for yesterday, ma'am.
You're welcome, ma'am.
You talk about converting a formula to a value.
Okay.
Okay, ma. So I use Excel almost every day, and I use it for I'm an auditor, so I use it for all these business people. So
okay.
If I want to I don't want someone to get my formula and I convert it to a value. Is it possible for me to if I want to use it, I will continue from when I start. Okay, business open today, and I will start from there. So it will not affect the formula. It will, if I say, okay, sorry, ma, if I say, okay, 36 minus, if I do, okay, today balance is 36. I have my in and out and balance. So my balance is 36. If I say in, that means I want to plus it. Okay. If I say, okay, 36 plus 2, which is in, it's supposed to be 38, minus 1, which is out, supposed to be giving me maybe 37. So if I now convert the formula to value, is it still going to give me the same work?
Okay, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So what you are trying to say now is that when you applied formula on another column, and because you want to convert those values, you want to paste it as a value instead of leaving it. You want to copy and paste it as a value so that those formulas will no longer be showing there. So you're now asking that, is it possible that you hide the formula?
Yes, and it's still doing this normal work for me.
And nobody will see it.
Yes.
Okay, it's not possible. If the formula is still there, the only thing you can do, and there's another thing you can do, and that is called, if you don't want anybody to touch your formula, maybe you share those workbook among other people, and you don't want them to tamper with your formula, so that you will not start wondering that what is the problem. The only thing you can do is to protect your sheet or lock that cell, so they would not be able to touch that particular any cell that you have protected, or even if you have protected your worksheet, they can only look at it. You can leave some part for them that, okay, maybe this is the only part you have business with. You can only input but you cannot touch the output. That is actually possible, but it's outside the scope of this particular class, but it's possible you can protect it.
Okay. I think I have similar situation this afternoon with that assignment that you give to us, that they say they cannot change one particular figure because it is protected.
Oh, okay, maybe you protected it anyway, because I didn't protect the sheets.
Okay, it happens to me this afternoon. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, Kosi.
Kosi talking. I don't know if I'm being heard.
Loud and clear.
Good evening, house. Good evening, everyone. So while I was doing my cleaning earlier on today, in the job title, when I tried filtering, there were some empty columns after the whole numbers there. Like, yeah, if you have to click that job title, if you have to select the column and you have to filter it, if you have to scroll down, you will see where they wrote something like name with hashtag, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like trying to, delete the column so it won't have any effect with the analysis when we're drawing the table, and it was proving abortive.
The column is not even here.
Empty, there's nothing there.
It's empty. So probably when he's taking this last column, this 2255, because if you look at how many cells we have here, for me, you can see this is 2254. So probably he's taking into consideration what's it called, the 2255. So let me try something. I'm coming. And actually I did some cleaning on this data set. Just a minute, I'm coming. Control Shift back. It's actually an empty cell. But when we get to pivot table, I'll check if it's still there, then I'll find something to do about it. Sorry, just a minute. Is that your question?
Yeah, that's just all.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.
I didn't care. Hello, I didn't care. Hello.
Gloria, I can hear you.
Yeah, so Nuruddin is raising his hand. I think he has a question.
All right, please let him go for it.
Hi, Nuruddin. So you can ask your question. I've unmuted you already.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to say, again, someone asked a question first. So what she was trying to say, if I get her right, is that she's saying that once you use the formula, so let's assume you use the if function, or you use left or right. So after using the function, you want to send that sheet to a particular customer. So you don't want them to see the functions you used or the formula you use in getting the answer, the graph. So because they can easily learn that particular thing to do it by themselves instead of them outsourcing you to do the job. So I think because I tried it here now and it worked. So After using, I use left function. Then after using left function, I convert it to values. So it automatically cleared the functions. Then I was able to send, and I was able to use Ctrl Z on my system, and all the formula came back. So I was able to continue what I was doing. So that was what I wanted to say. So I think that was it.
All right. Thank you, Nuruddin. So I get your perspective that you sense what you did first, then immediately you finish sending it. Maybe you can even duplicate the data, and immediately you finish sending it, you did Ctrl Z to bring back your formula. You understand?
Exactly.
So I get what you're saying. It's possible. It's possible. So sorry, any other question, then we can start the class. So I want to believe we don't have any question again. Sorry. So I'll share my screen back. There was a cleaning I did. I'm trying to bring it back in. All right, please let me know when you can see my screen. Okay, this is the detail I was looking for. Glory, can you see my screen now?
No, I can't see it yet.
Okay. How about now?
Yeah. It's up.
All right. Okay, so I think I should even share this data with you. Because after we left the class yesterday, I did some further cleaning on the job title column. Hi, this is what I wanted to show you. I did some further cleaning on the job title column so that there are some, let me show you the raw data so that you see what I'm talking about. Okay, this is the raw data. So, but I couldn't bring that to the class to come and clean it up today because it would take a lot of our time. This is the raw data. This was the data I downloaded from Kaggle yesterday. So if I come to data and I filter the data, you see that in my job title here, if I just scroll down, you see how the data is. There are some things that should have been the same thing. Like, see here, let me bring it out. I'm coming. Let me filter it out for you to see. Let me start with a junior. So junior 10 that also contains. So what I'm doing is that this is another way to filter your data. You can use the and or. So you are telling Excel that anyone that contains, if you use and, you are saying that it must meet the two criteria. But if you use or, you are telling Excel that either of the criteria is okay. So or JR, let's see what will happen. So you can see from here that you can see here entry level / junior analyst, junior data analyst, junior data analyst. You can see all these are just meant to be junior data analyst. You can see it here. But see the way what is meant to be just one data, one category. I have 74 here. So I did the cleaning yesterday. And what I just did is I just want to show you what I did. And that was what I did for majority of the cleaning I did. So for this junior entry level, what I did is just that I just change it to junior data analyst, which is this. I copied this and I pasted it here. So every row that was containing that JRG and the likes, I've already taken care of it. So that why do I have to do this? By the time I want to visualize my data, and I have a lot of inconsistency in my data is not well standardized, it's not going to give me the exact analysis I want. So it's going to, if I'm creating a chart, I'll have a chart for junior data analyst. I'll have another chart for, for example, if I'm using a bar chart, I'll have a bar for junior data analyst, and I'll have another bar for JR data analyst, and I can have another bar for JR data analyst. You understand? Which everything is meant to be together. But if you have not cleaned your data very well, everything will just be everywhere, and you are not going to get a true picture of what you really want to look at. So this is what I'm talking about. Let me just give an example so that you see what I'm talking about. So this is not the data I'm working with in class. So let me quickly do a quick, don't worry, we are still coming to pivot table. But I just quickly want to show you something. You see the way it is now. So this is the way I've cleaned all these. Anyway, I've cleaned all this. So this is the way your data is going to be looking. It's going to be everywhere. Can you see it? So see this business analyst. We have a lot of it. So one of the cleaning we could have done in class yesterday, if we had the time, was to collapse everything together so that you can easily analyze this thing. The most important thing is that they are looking for a business analyst. They are looking for a data analyst. So look at this now. Business analyst, SQL, Toad, Excel, they are telling us some of the things. So we don't need all these things. So I did some of those cleaning myself, and I believe it's something you can also do based on what we have learned in class yesterday and just what I've showed you now. It's a lot of work, actually, if you ask me, but that is why we are data analysts. So I just want to show you that. So if you want to visualize this now, let me come to senior. Okay, that contains, let's check senior data analyst. So look at all the data points, 162 that contains job title that has data, senior data analyst. And if I don't collapse all these together, all of these will have their own separate readings and it's going to affect our analysis. So I just think I need to tell you that the data I sent to you yesterday is no longer the data I'm using right now. It's the same data, but I've done a bit more cleaning on the job title so that it will make our analysis easier. So I can send it to you. Let me send it to you in case you want to also practice as we are working. So let me just send it to the WhatsApp group right away. Sorry. All right, so let me just share it with you. So you can pick it up from the all right, I've sent it to you. So you can pick it up from there. So let's start today's business. So we want to look at how to analyze your data using pivot table. And what is pivot table? Before I talk about pivot table, let me talk about some of the important things you must do before you can start working on pivot table. Those are the things that you must, like data preparation that needs to be done before you use pivot table. And in summary, pivot table is just a very powerful tool in Excel that allows you to extract your data, summarize your data, and you can easily analyze your data. So you can easily get insights from your data. When you like this data now, we have 2,255 or 54 data rows. So you can easily summarize your data with pivot table. So, but pivot table, before you use pivot table, excuse me, there are some things that you must put in place. Just like I said yesterday, as a data analyst, there are some questions you need to ask yourself before you start any analysis. Why am I even performing this analysis? What do I want to get out from this data? So they call it the problem statement. What problem do I want to solve with this data? So you have to have that at the back of your mind. Secondly, you have to explore your data. And exploring your data means that looking at your data critically. You look at all your data types, your columns, you check out for missing values, for duplicates, and every other thing like that. So you have to check all these things, and you check your columns. By the time you have decided what your problem statement is, why I didn't take us through most of this yesterday was because I felt if I had taken out majority of the columns, we might not have enough to cover on data cleaning. And since this is just a learning platform, so that you can learn as much as possible, so that no matter the type of data you come across, you know how to tackle it. So you check also what are the columns that are necessary for my problem, for the problem I want to solve. So just like I said yesterday, this is a data on some jobs that were data analyst jobs that were posted on Glassdoor, their salary, the location of those jobs, and the revenue of the company, the type of company, the year the company was founded, and the like. So if I may ask the class, looking at this data as a data analyst, if somebody gives you this data, what are the key things you think might interest you, might be interesting for you to know? So I'll be expecting your answers in the Q&A. What are those key things that you think would interest you, that, oh, I want to really know about this thing. those are the insights I want to get out of this data. What do you think those insights would be? All right, I'm waiting. What are the things? You have a data that is giving you the job title, minimum salary, maximum salary, the rating, the company name, the city, the state, the headquarters, the size, minimum employee and maximum employee of the company, the year it was founded, whether it's easy to apply for the job, the type of company, and the likes. What are the things you think you might be interested in getting out of this data? I'm waiting for your inputs. Okay, average salary. Thank you. So Nuruddin is saying the job title, salary, and revenue. You'll be interested in that. You'll be interested in the average salary. Okay, let me just start from there. You'll be interested in the average salary. So it is important that we calculate the average salary. We are still going to drop some columns, but let's first check what our interest is, and we'll calculate the average salary. So to do that, I'll have to insert another column beside my minimum and my maximum salary, and I will name that average salary. But before we proceed, let me show you something. Look at this data. If you click on this minimum salary now, it's telling you general. Yesterday, I told you that when you want to know the data type of a particular data in Excel, the way they are aligned, you can easily know the kind of data they are. If you look at this data now, this 37,000, even though it looks like a value, it looks like a figure, like what you can add 1 + 1 together, is actually not a numerical value. It is actually a categorical data because it is aligned to the left. And I told you yesterday that numbers are usually aligned to the right. So let me show you something. I'll copy this data here. I'll paste it here. Let me broaden it very well. You can see. Then I'll write another 37,000. Can you see the difference between the two? You can see this is actually, can you see? This is aligned to the left, to the right, I mean, and this is aligned to the left because Excel recognizes this data as a text and it recognizes this data as a number. Now let's confirm what I'm saying. If I say equals to, and I say this plus this, can you see what Excel is telling me? It's telling me value. That means it is a wrong type of argument. That means you cannot add, the same way you cannot add 1 and A together. That is the same way you cannot add these two values together because this is not a figure. Sorry, this is not a number. This is a text. Excel is seeing this as a text. So the same thing that would happen if I want to calculate the average line. So if I say equals to, and to calculate average, the formula is average. I put average, I press my tab button. It's asking me number 1, and I press this number, and I say comma. Then number 2, I press this number, and I close my bracket. It's going to give me an error because it's telling me that I cannot divide the two because it's not a number. So we have another work on our hands, and we have to sort this out before we can calculate our average. So to do that, I'll quickly insert another column here. So I'll be very fast with this because of our time. We have a lot that we want to cover. And I'm going to be using 2 Excel formulas to convert this back into a value. The first one is substitute, and the second one is value. So I'm going to be substituting, and I'm going to convert what I have substituted back into, I'm going to convert it back into value. So this is what I'm talking about. I'll say equals to, and Excel substitute function is a function that allows you to replace any part of your data with another thing. So for example, if I say, I like to show a simple example before I go into the my data. So let me just show you. Let me show you how substitute works so that it won't be as if substitutes. You can see it's saying that replaces existing text with new text in a text string. So if I say substitute, so you only use it for text data. If I say substitute and I put, it will ask me that what is the text. Let me just put any text here. Let me put Nike. Let me put a Nike. So, okay, sorry. So this is the text that this is my text. So it will now ask me, what is the old text? So what do I want to substitute? I want to substitute this A. So I'll take A. Asking me what is the new text, because I don't want to put that A there again. I'll just put empty. So this is an empty cell, and I press OK. So can you see? So that a Nike is now Nike. That is how substitute works. So that is the same thing we are going to be doing here. We are going to be using it here. So I want to remove all these dollar signs that are here because it's not showing as a dollar sign of currency. It's showing as a dollar sign. It's now the text is a text. So I'll have to change it. So I'll say equals to substitute. So this is the old text here. So what do I want to remove is the dollar sign. So I'll put the dollar sign here. What do I want to replace it with? Empty cell. Nothing. I press OK. Then I press it like this. So you can see it's still a text, but now it's seeing it has removed the dollar sign. Now I have to attach another formula to it, which is called value. And what does value do? value actually helps to convert a text, that a numerical text, for lack of better word, like this my 37,000 naira, 37,000 now is looking like a number, but is a text. So it helps to convert these kind of values back into the normal values that we know. So I'll add the value function. Value, can you see, convert a text string that represents a number to a number. So I'll press value. So this is it's not asking me that what is the text. So the text is the result of what I have here is 37,000. Then I close it and I press OK. So can you see the difference between the two data points now? I have this now aligning to my right and I have this aligning to my left. So I'll just scroll down to fill up the data. So it has filled it up. So I'll come here and I'll do the same thing. So when I come here, it's the same thing. So I'll be fast in writing the formula now. I'll say equals to value, tab. Then I'll still put my substitutes. Then what is the text? This is the text. The old text is the $sign I want to remove. And the new text is the empty, and I'll close the brackets. I'll have to close it one more time. And I press OK. So it has converted it back to numerical value. So I'll scroll down. So after this, I have to convert these, because I will take this minimum salary and this maximum salary. I'll take these two cells out. And just like I said yesterday, immediately I delete this, I'll have a reference error here. So that is why I need to, that is why it's important for me to paste it in a special way. So I'll press copy. So I told you this shortcut yesterday is Ctrl-Alt-V. Then I press save as, paste as value. I'll do the same thing here. Copy, Ctrl-Alt-V, paste it as values and press OK. So after now, I can take this out and I can also take this out. So I can name this now my minimum salary and this as my maximum salary. Then I would now create a new cell for my average salary that I need. So it's always good to format your data properly. So I'll format it as in the appropriate way, and I'll calculate the average. So the average is, I'll use the formula average. So these are the two numbers. So, and now I have my average. And I scroll this down for it to populate for every other cell. So now we already have, we have our average. And so the rating, we'll be using the rating. The company name, we might not be using the company name, but I'll still keep it. The city, the state, will be using that. The headquarters, I don't think we need to know the headquarters of the company we want to work for. If you want that information, it's easy to get that. So I'll be taking out the headquarters. So the minimum employee and the maximum employee, I'm thinking is we don't need the minimum employee and the maximum employee. If we have anything to do with this, we can just make these, we can just make use of this size. So 201 to, if you have any analysis to do with this, so I'll take these two out. Also, the year it was founded is not of importance to us. It's not a data point that is important for anybody that wants to get a job. So I don't think it's important in this analysis. So we take it out. The type of ownership. So this might be important because when we analyze this data, you might know which company is hiring more. So this can give you some kind of information in case you are looking for a job that, oh, okay, it seems it's the government that are hiring more. Oh, it's the private company that are hiring more. So I think we can leave that. So also the industry. The industry is also of importance. We'll take care of all this, don't worry. because there is something, a concept I still want to teach. So that's why I would leave this now. Then the sector, I don't think we can leave the sector too. So we can leave the sector. It might be of benefit to us. The revenue of the company, how much money the company is making. So let's see. We have a lot of unknown there. Unknown, non-applicable.
Hi, Adenike.
Yes, please.
Yeah, sorry, we have a question here from Ololade. She said she's asking if it is possible to highlight the whole column and convert the value from the number tab that shows general. Did you get that?
Yes, I get you. It is possible. I get what you're saying, that instead of me converting this using the substitute and value method, is it possible that I just come here and I come here to change the data type? It's actually possible to do that, but let me see the other data that I had here with me. I'm coming. Oh, I've actually, it's going to take a long time. I would have wanted to show you something. Okay, look at here now. I don't know whether this will work. So what I realized is that one of the things that made that, it depends on the data you are working with actually. If, for example, now you can't come here now and just change this to number, it's not going to work because you have text there. And you can, is the same way you cannot change A to 1 and you cannot change 1 to A. That's the same way you cannot convert from that using, just by changing here, by coming here. You know, you have one in a cell and you come here and you change it to number. That doesn't make, oh sorry, you have A in a cell. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You have A in this cell. You understand? You know, it's showing general, which is the default. It doesn't mean that when I come here and I change it to number, A will now become a number. Or if I come here and I change this to currency, it doesn't mean that it's going to act like a currency. So that's just what I'm talking about. And remember this data yesterday. If, assuming I just wrote one here, I wrote one here myself. I typed one here myself. This is actually a number itself. I can come here and I can change it to anything I want because it was actually a number. Do you understand what I'm saying? But the problem with the data yesterday is that, remember, we started with data cleaning. So one of the things we could have done yesterday to complete that data cleaning was for us to convert it back to value, which we did not do. So Excel was still seeing it as a text, and that is what we tried to correct with this. And that cannot be corrected using this method, just like A cannot change to 1. So I hope I have answered your question, Ololade. Is that a yes? All right. Thank you. Okay, so let's continue. Let me delete this sheet because when I start pivot table, I wouldn't want my data to be everywhere. Okay, this is not even my data. All right. So, okay, so I think we have also another thing. Okay, the competitors. I don't think we would be needing this. So majority of the data is even empty. Then whether it's easy to apply for the jobs or not. So this is another question. I don't know. I don't think we need this for our analysis, but we can leave this data. We might change our mind. So, and remember, when you are working with a data, there are 1001 insights you can get from a data. So it depends on what actually you are looking for. So having said this, what are the things you need to do before you start using pivot table? The first one is that you must organize your data into a table and make sure that each of the columns have unique headers. These are your headers. Your column title are your headers. So they must have unique titles, and make sure that you convert it into a table, because working with tables in Excel is another topic on its own. But to convert a data into a table, all you have to do is you can either select any part of the data, click on any part of the data, or you can highlight the data yourself. Even if you don't highlight it yourself, Excel will highlight it for you. And to do that, just use Ctrl-Shift, then use your arrow buttons to whichever way you want to direct the data. So I want to go with the forward arrow. It will highlight everything I have on my right. Then the downward arrow, it will take everything that I have down. So it has selected my entire data set. Then I'll press Ctrl-T. Ctrl-T is a shortcut for inserting a table. And also, you must, don't forget, check this. My data has headers. If you don't check that my data have headers, Excel is going to recognize, it's not going to recognize this as your header. It will take it as part of your data. So I'll check this and I'll click OK. And now you have your data in a table format, and you can do a lot of things with tables, which is not part of what we want to do in this class today. So another way you can do it is you can come here and come to insert, and you can insert table, and it's still the same thing, and you click OK. So now you have done that. You are also going to make sure that you fill in any blank spaces you have in your data. You ensure you don't have any blank in your data. And if you do that, you make sure that you fill it in. So how do you check whether you have any blank in your data? The easiest way to do it, to check, if you want to check for your entire data set, I've highlighted my data set. I come to my Home tab, come to Find and Select, and come to Go to Special. When you come to Go to Special, click on. Yes, please.
Yeah, Clement is asking that, what of the revenue column?
Okay, I don't plan to use it. I've taken it out, I think. The revenue is the revenue of the company. So this is not a sales data. If you are working on a sales data, that is when we'll be using the revenue and the likes. So this is like a job search data. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I took it out already. But if you think you want to use it in your own analysis, it's all well and good. So I click on blanks. So can you see? It's telling me that no cells were found. No cells were found. That means I don't have any cell in all my highlighted data set. There is no cell that is blank. So I'm good to go. Another thing I need to check is to check consistency in my data type, which I had already done, and that's one of the reasons I cleaned the salary column. Also, I would have to ensure there are no duplicates in my data set. We've already checked that yesterday, so we'll not be doing that today. Then you check for errors. You ensure there are no errors in your data, and to do that, you also can do that by going to Ctrl-G, which is go to. Sorry, so you can come to Find and Select here, Go to Special, because I want to use Go to Special, not Go to. So that's why you now come to Formulas. You uncheck all of these and only check the errors. So you want to check whether there are errors in your formula. Then you click OK. So can you see what has happened? There is actually an error, which if I didn't do this, I would not know. So let's come here and see what the error is. So here, in this particular data, can you see? It said student data analyst. So, and they only gave the minimum salary. The maximum salary was not given. And because of that, we cannot calculate the average salary. Do you understand? So this kind of data now, how do I solve the problem? Is it that I'm going to change this minimum salary? Should I change the value to 0 and change the maximum to 1,000 and have my calculated value, or I take out the data set, the data point entirely? So it depends on me. I can decide now that, okay, are you the one that wants to give me problem? I can delete the data. It's not going to affect my analysis. And I can do it the other way around too. So it depends on you. So I'll just take from 1 or 2 people. So somebody said, what if there are blank cells? What do we do with them? So that is data cleaning job. You have to decide, do you want to take it out? Do you want to fill it with 0 or not a number? So you can do either of that. You can fill it in with 0 or you can fill it in with not a number. So it will just have their standalone like that. So, okay, nobody's talking. So I've decided I will just take out this data point. So I will delete this. All right. So let me now check again. Okay, someone said we should make the maximum 100. Sorry, I've already taken it out. So, which is also another way of going about it. I could have said maximum 1,000, minimum 0. So, all right. So I can check again whether we have any other error. Find and select, go to special formulas, errors, then I click. So no cells were found. That means there is no longer any error in my data set. So from there, I can now, so I've checked for errors. So if you are working on an external data, you can refresh your data, but this is not an external data. You can also use named ranges if necessary, even though converting to table would have automatically named some of my ranges. Then ensure that there is no merge cells. That means you didn't merge any cell together. Then you plan what you want to do, which we have also done. We've done that earlier on. What are the things we want to do on our pivot table? So after that, now I can now come here and insert my pivot table. So to do that, just click on any data point in your data, come to insert, and you can come to pivot table. And you see, you have from data ranges or from external source if you are using an external data, but our data is here. So I will just click on pivot table, and it's asking me for the name of my table. If I had named my table, it would have given us the name, but I didn't name my table, so I'll just leave it as the table 3 that it is. So, but if when I created my table, I had named my table, it would have given me the name of my table. Can I actually still do that? But I think we should just continue because of time. So let me come again, insert pivot. So it will ask me, the moment I come to insert pivot, it will ask me, select a table data or range. And you can see that it has selected all my data. And it's telling me table 3. That is the table I added. And it's asking me, choose where you want the pivot table to be placed. It's always advisable you place it in a new worksheet. It's always advisable you place it in a new worksheet. If you are placing it in an existing worksheet, then that means you want your pivot table to be inside this same worksheet we are working it. Everything will be modeled up together. Then if you are working on Power Pivot, which is not part of today's class, you can add this to a data model if you are working on Power Pivot. So, but that is not what we are doing. So you click OK. And this is your pivot table environment. And you realize that the moment you come to these environments now, something has already changed. Because we said you should create it on a new worksheet. That's why we have it on a new worksheet. I want to take this out. All right, so because we said we want it on a new worksheet, that's why we have it on a new worksheet here. And at the same time, the moment we added the pivot table, we have another new tab that has been added to our ribbon. So we have the pivot table analyze, and the this design was there because of is also there because of the pivot table designs. So we have 2 new ribbons that have been added to our tabs. So I'll quickly just talk about some of these. I'll quickly talk about some of the functions of these as we move on into our analysis. So now we are ready to start analyzing our data. Then we start some of the things we decided that we want to work on. But before I continue, let me just tell you some few points about some features of pivot table. A pivot table is basically used for summarizing. So for example, I have maybe 100 rows with data analysts, and each of them have a particular value for their salaries. So I might want to know what is the total sum of all the salaries of all data analysts in my data. So that is one of the things that pivot tables does. I can use it to group my data. For example, if I have ages of people, maybe from age 1 to 100, I can tell pivot table to group it for me, maybe group it in tens. So I want 0 to 10, ages 11 to 20, and like that. So I can also have that. Then I can use it for filtering. And you can have automatic updates with pivot tables. As I'm working on my pivot table like this, I have my pivot table here. If I make any changes to my data here, and I come here to refresh, if I come to pivot table analyze and I refresh my data, the changes I have made in my data earlier on would reflect on the new sheet, on my pivot table. So that's one of the things you can do on a pivot table. And worthy of noting is the pivot table fields. You need to know how the fields are. And pivot table is just a drag and drop. That means when you want to add anything to any of these pivot table field area, it's just for you to drag. Just click on your mouse and drag it to wherever you want to drag it to. So we have the filter, which you can use to filter your data. So we have your columns. If you want your data to apply or appear on the columns, let me just be showing you this as we are working on it. Let me see what we can. Let's use states. This will be a shorter. So this is a filter and is showing us all the states in our data. You can see these are all the states. So if I want to filter my information based on the states, I can easily use the filter. Then we have the columns. If I want my data to appear on the columns, I can come here and put here. So you can see I have my column labels. My ratings are on the columns. This is not a good way to represent the data. It's just for learning purposes. I'll take it out. So for rows, I can put my company name here, and I'll have. Okay, this is not good enough. Let me check something else we can easily see. Let me see type of ownership. Okay. Let me take this out. So you can see that you have various is showing on the rows. Then for values just like you can see the summation sign here usually takes numerical data, but that doesn't mean you cannot put categorical data there, but you can only get a count of that categorical value. You cannot do any aggregation on that particular value. If, for example, now if I put job title here, let me remove this. Okay, let me take out the filter too. So if I put the job title, you can see it's showing me all the job titles that we have in our data. And I come to value, and I still I want to know the count of each of these job titles. So the first thing I want to look at is that what job title do employers use the most when they want to hire a data analyst? What job title do they use the most? So I'll come here. Remember, job title is not a numerical value, but the moment I bring it, you can see it's telling me count of job title. If I come here now, I right click here where you have value field. If I click on it and I say I want to do an average of this, it's going to give me an error because I cannot divide a numerical value. So the only thing I can do is only to show the count of it. So I'll take it back to count. So this is showing me. So what this means is that it's telling me that application or data application analyst 5/data analyst only applied once. Application data analyst actually also applied once. So these are one of the data cleaning challenges I was talking about. So these three now, all these three application program analysts is part of the things. If we had time, I would have gone back to my data and clean them and make it just data analyst. Do you understand? So, but because of the time, I wouldn't be doing that now. So, and I want to know who are the top analysts, what are the top counts of jobs title that applied on Glassdoor. So for me to do that, I'll click on any cell inside the count of top job title column. I'll right click and I'll come to sort, the way you sort your data. So it's telling you, do you want to sort it from smallest to largest or from largest to smallest? And there are also more sort options, but I want to go from largest to smallest, and I click OK. So now it is showing me already that Majority of the job titles are data analyst, followed by senior data analyst, followed by business analyst, junior data analyst, and lead reporting, and it goes like that. So I can easily see what job titles are used for majority of the do this, what all I have to do is, you can see this sort button that is here.
Hi, Adenike.
Yes, please.
Okay, so we lost you for a while.
Wow. Like how long? What was the last thing you heard me saying?
Glory, can you help me out here? I can't remember. It seemed like 2 minutes.
Oh, did you know when I created the chat? Were you hearing me when I created the chat?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just okay. So I'll just go back to it. So you understand how I sorted the data, right? Hi, Abiodun. Okay, someone is telling me that sort from largest. Okay. Lost you during sorting. Okay, all right, I've gotten that. So I said for you to sort. Let me go back. Control Z. All right. So let me just come back from here. So I said for us to, we want to get our top 10 job title. Those are the most frequent job titles that are posted on the website. So for you to do that, click on any cell inside the column where you have the count of job title, then right click on it. You see where you have sort. So you can sort from smallest to largest. You can sort from largest to smallest. So here I want to sort from largest to smallest. So I'll click OK.
I didn't care. Okay. So I please just give Adenike like a minute. I think our network is down. She will join in very soon. Abiodun, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Glory.
Okay, I thought it was my network.
No,
All right.
it's not your network.
All right.
All right.
All right. So, hello everyone. Sorry, Adenike is having issues with her network, but she's working on it. So sorry about that. Let's just, hold on for her. She'll be back very soon. Thank you. Hi Adenike. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I'm really, really, really sorry. I'm very sorry. In fact, I was busy explaining and using all my energy to explain, not knowing that I was disconnected already until Abiodun called me to notify me. I'm really sorry,
Wow.
everyone.
So sorry about that.
Really, I didn't even know. I wasn't aware. So I had to change my network. I had to switch from I was using MTN router, so I had to switch to my mobile internet. So please, can you confirm when last you heard me? What I was talking about when you heard me?
So I think when you got back after you left, then like you didn't even stay for long till you went off again. So probably you should just start from where they had called your attention the last
Wow.
time.
Wow. See where I am already. Very funny. I was even already editing the chat. All right, no problem. Okay, so I'll just do Ctrl Z. So were you aware when I had this chat? Hi, Glory, please, can you hear me? Please, can you confirm you can hear me? All right.
Adenike, I can hear you. Sorry, I don't know. I think network again, but then I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Not reduced.
Okay, so I'm sorry about that once again. So I was trying to ask whether this chat had already
Are you
been
serious? Is it physical?
Okay, I've muted Emmanuel. I think that was a mistake. So I was trying to ask whether you have inserted this chat when we started before my network went off, but I'll just go back a bit. Okay, so let me just come back to when I had this long chat and I was trying to explain to you why it's important for you to sort your data. So please, Glory, any moment you cannot hear me, please put a call across to me so that I will be aware. So,
All right, no problem. Noted.
all right, thank you. So I was trying to tell you that the reason why you have to choose whether it's top 10 or top 20 or top 30 you want to work on. For a data point like this, if I want to visualize this, my visualization will want to take in all my data points. And this is what is happening here. And this does not make sense. It's just everything is just molded up together. So I'll come back to the row labels where I have this down arrow. I'll click on it and come to value filter. Then I'll click on top 10. So I was explaining that you can either use top or bottom. So if you want to know the bottom or the top, you can choose anyone you want. And this 10 is not a fixed number. You can change it to 20. You can change it to 30. You can change it to whatever number you want. But I said 10 is okay by me. And it's asking you that what do you want to do? Is it the percentage of it or the sum of it? But the item is what I want to work on. Then I click OK. So doing this now is giving me the top 10 job titles, and my chart is looking a bit better than what I had before. And also I said the fact that you have chosen a chart doesn't mean you have to keep on using that chart. You might decide that, oh, after you had visualized that I don't really like this chart and I want to change it. And for you to change, you just click anywhere, right click anywhere inside your chart and come to change data type. And if you had added any data to your data, you can refresh here. So I would change my data type. And I said I'm planning to use a bar chart. So let's see how bar chart looks. So you click OK. So it has automatically changed it to a bar chart. So look at this now. It's coming from 10, 9 down to the first one. So I want to see it in descending order. This is ascending order. I want to see it in descending order. So for me to do that, I can sort these data points. So you just click on all the bars, right click again and come to sort and sort from smallest to largest. So when I sort from smallest to largest, I would see my bar chart from the smallest one, from the largest one down to the smallest one. So from here now, you can start updating your chart to make it look better. You can start formatting your chart. And some of the things, I'll just show you some of the things you can do. You can come to this addition button here, and all these checked elements are the things that are working that you currently have on your chart. Anyone you don't want, you can just uncheck it. So for example, if I uncheck the axis now, you can see the axis is gone, but I wouldn't want to do that. So I'll check it back. So if I uncheck the chart title, it is gone. I wouldn't also want to do that. I will uncheck it back. So you might want to show your data labels. Let me show my data labels. So that means all the data points on each of the data would show. I can check that. Then you want to show grilled lines or you want to remove it. I can remove that. This legend, I would remove it because it's only one data point. There is nothing I need the legend for. So I'll also remove this. So I'm actually making my data, by my chart to look better. Then I can edit my title and call these top 10 jobs by job title. All right, so I've changed this. So for this job title, I might not want it, so I don't need it. So for me to remove this, I can just come here. When I right click on it, you see where you have hide all field buttons on chart. So this is a field button. So it's going to hide this count and this job title. So I'll hide it. You can see that my chart is now looking better. So I can have my chart like this. I can still do much more on the chart. You can see I have format chart type here. I have a chart styles. If I come here now, in case you are not very good with design and you want already made designs on Microsoft Excel, you can come here and choose any chart type that you want. If you don't want to start customizing yourself, you can choose from here. I personally like to customize myself because I like to keep my chart very simple. So you can come to this format chart area. There are a lot of things you can do. It depends on your own creativity. You can change the color here. And you see, you can change the colors. You can make your chart better. You can just use your own design skills. Then if I come here, I can have a lot of effect. If I want it to shadow, to glow, and I want it in 3D format, then here is the size and properties. So if I come here now, you can see I can change the size of my charts here too. Then for the properties, I can also, you can see move and size with the cell. So all these are things I can do on my chart. Then for the text option, those are the text I have on my chart. So I can come here, solid fill, I can fill it in a pattern. You can see as I'm changing it, you can see it's also changing. So these are some of the things I can do on my chart. It just depends on your own creativity. I can change the color of my chart. Can you see? I can change the color here of my text, I mean. So I don't like the color anyway. Let me just go back to my default color and leave it. So if I want my text to have outline, I can put an outline here. Can you see? Just like we have here. I want it, if I want it to have an outline, but I don't, you can do it if you want it, but for now, I think I will just leave it as a simple text as it is. Then these text labels too, you can work on that too, depending on the kind of data you are working on. So if I come back here, label option, I can decide where I want to keep it, whether it's inside, can you see? Inside end, inside base, outside. So I prefer it outside, is clearer like that. I can come to my number. I won't be explaining all this again for the other chart. I will just quickly create those charts. So I can come here and also give it the kind of data I want. I can change the data type here. If it is currency, I can change the currency and the likes. So then the format, I can change the format too, and I can add my own customized number format where I can give it a different color. I can give it a different styles based on the format. All these are part of the things we will be teaching in our upcoming data school. So let's just leave it the way it is now. Then let's come down here. This is not doing anything for me, so I'll just take it out. It's just taking space. It doesn't add any function to my data. So I've created this. Let's move to the next data point I want to create. Now, to create a new chart, because I've done one chart already, I have a pivot table already. I can either copy this. If I copy this now and I come down, I'll scroll down and I paste this here. I can start another pivot table. But if you don't want this, if you want your job to be neater, or you want to easily understand it, you can do something like this. You can copy this title, name these sheets by this title, then duplicate this page. So create a copy, move to end. Okay. So the next analysis I want to do is I want to check the top, the average salary by job title. I want to see the job title that have the highest salary. So I'll just change this to average salary by job title. So now the only thing I have to do, you can see that is a duplicated data. So the only thing I have to do is come back to my pivot table field, and you can see is the shape that is showing here. So I'm back to my pivot table field. So I want to show my job title, average job title. So the role is still my job title, but the value is my average salary. So I'll bring in the average salary. And I have it here. And the good thing about this is that because I copied the data, you can see how everything is modeled together. So, so you can see. So this is what we have here. I'll just do the same thing I did the other time. I want to know, and okay, now, you see here now, I have sum of average salary. So what Excel did here is that it summed up all the average salaries of application analysts, all the average salary of automotive data analysts, which is not what I want. I want the average of the average salary. So I want Excel to calculate all the average salary of the Power BI analyst. That is what I want. So I'll come here now. When I click here, you see where you have value field setting and you click on it. When you click on it, you come and change it back to average and you click OK. If you don't do this, you are not going to get the right analysis. So after that, you sort, and the way we have sorted earlier on, I'm sorting from largest to smallest. So I've done that. Another thing I want to do is that I want to pick out the top 10. So now from my data, the job title that is paying the highest money is this discovery data analyst, followed by this copyright data analyst, this SAP data analyst, SAS data analyst, and the likes, ERP, service. So all these ones are paying the highest money. So what I'll do now is that I'll click out for the top 10. I'll come to the top 10 and click OK. So you can see now that the same, and one of the importance of this is that all the formatting I did on the other data is still the one I have here. But when I look at this data, I don't like this chart. I don't like the way this chart is looking. So I'll see whether I can convert this back into, sorry, my light went off. So I will see whether I can change this chart type. Let me change it into a column chart and see how it would look. So I think this is better, but these data points I'm having here, I don't like it. I don't like this data point I'm having here, so I can remove it from here. Data labels. So it's just for me to remove the data labels here, and I can have my top 10 data by job title. So then I'll move to the next one, and I'll just also rename, copy and paste this. Let's check the cities. The city that has the highest job openings. So I'll remove the still job title we are using. So I'll come here and drag the city and drop it here. So you can see that it's telling me count of city because it's already recognized that. Then no, I won't use the job title. I'll use the city of right. So I'll use the city as the role label. So I can come here now and sort these two from highest to largest to smallest. So you can see New York City has the highest number of job openings. I can also come here and do top 10, filter values, top 10, and I say okay. So you can see I have my job titles. Then I can, let me change this to a bar chart. Okay. All right. So I've changed this, so I can just change this to top 10 cities. Top 10 cities. So this is not the best we can do, but because of our time, I'll just leave it like this. We can actually still make these charts to look better. So this is telling us is that New York City has the largest job opening. So that means if you are looking for a data analyst job, majority of them are in New York City. So if you also want to know, let's check this. Top 10 city. So let me duplicate this. All right. So I want to know how easy is it to apply for this job. So how easy to apply? Let's see what this is all about. So I'll come here and we are going to be using the easy apply. So I come to easy apply on my rows. I take this out. So you can see this now. So majority of the job is not easy to apply for them. Good things don't come easy. So that means you should be ready to do some hard work. You should be ready to, this easy apply is some of the things you see on LinkedIn that within 2-3 minutes you are done applying for a job. So that means that you might have to go to their website. There are a lot of things to do. So this is not the best chart to represent this, and I'll be changing the chart type. Let me change it. So I think we should use a bar chart. This is very good. So let's just use a pie. We can use a pie chart. We can use a donut chart. So let's use a donut chart. So this is showing us easily how easy it is to apply for the job. But we don't know what this is because we have taken out the data labels. So I'll put the legend here so that anybody that is seeing this data can easily know what we are talking about. So we can also view this. You can do much more. You can do much more with this data. I'll do one more visual for us. We already have 1, 2, 3, and I'll show you how you can put this on. You can create a quick dashboard with this. So let me just move and copy to the end. So I want to check type of ownership. Let's check that. Let's see. So you come to type of ownership, that will be company type. You see why pie charts cannot work for this? Company type, then is a count that we want to look at. So you can see, looking at this now, you can see we have a data point that is showing. Let me first change the data type. Pie chart is not the best to represent this. So I'll change the data type to a bar chart. Okay. Then I'll change this. Let me sort this. All right. So I'm coming. I'll filter it to the top 10. All right. So let me make this bigger. You can see this -1 that is there. That is a data that was not that wasn't well input. It was not imputed well, and it's already showing us that it is -1. And we have another one that is saying unknown here. We don't know it. And we have another data point saying other organization. So why not call all unknown and this -1 that I want to assume we don't know it to other organization? Do you understand? Or we can call it unknown, either of the two, depending on what you want to change it to. So I'll come back to my original data set. I'll come back to my original data set and come to type of ownership. I will filter this and filter out where I have -1. I come back here, you can see. So the issue is it has issue with some other this thing too. So I have 63 data point that has or no data point. So I'll just come here and change this to unknown. So, and I'll copy this and paste it down for every other one. So now I have corrected this. I unfilter it back, clear filter. So I've changed my data. Now let me go back to my pivots table, type of ownership. Now you can see it is still there. For me to effect this change, I need to come back to my pivot table, pivot chart analyze, and I will have to click on refresh. So I'll refresh all. Can you see what has happened now? It has changed from that -1 to unknown. So I just felt I should show you how you can refresh your data, and in case you make a mistake, and you can correct all any issue you have with your data. So I'll quickly format this. The legend is not necessary. This is not necessary. I'll take it out too. Let me show my data labels, and I'm good to go. So finally, I think I saw one more thing I would like to show you, and that is the industry where that is hiring majority of that is hiring the most data analysts. So I'll just come here and also quickly move and copy. So come here, industry. So when I come here now, I would so I'll come and change this to, and remember, this is not the only thing I can do. The way I have this data here, I can decide to bring the sector here. It depends on the kind of data you are working on. I can decide to put the sector here too, so that I can collapse this. You can collapse this. You understand? So the moment you are seeing, I can decide to bring the city. I can decide to bring the city. So I will be seeing each of these cities and what they stand for. I will correct this, don't worry. So I can also do that. So it depends on what you want to achieve with your data. So I want to check the sector, and I want to check, let me check the sector that pays the most money. So I'll change this to average. There are many more things you can do here. So I still have this -1 here. So I'll go back to my data and correct it. I didn't correct it when we were analyzing because I wanted to show you how to do this when you are. So come to sector. I filter out the -1, and I can put this as unknown. I think I should just do the same thing here too. All right, so let me remove the filter. Okay, so all right, so I'll come back here to refresh. Glory, I'm just confirming you are still hearing me. Abiodun. Hi, Glory. Hi, Abiodun. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, please, can anyone just tell me? All right, thank you very much. Okay, so I'll just can you mute that person? All right, so I can quickly sort these from highest to largest to smallest. I can come here and bring out the top 10 sectors that are hiring data analysts. So you can see here that, wow, if someone had told me that real estates are actually hiring data analysts like this, I would have said it's not possible. But that is the work of data. It will make you, what you think is not possible, you see the possibility. So I can actually format this. Let me show you how to format this quickly. Okay, so chat elements. Okay, let me format this. So I can right click and come to format chat area. So come down to text option, I mean. Okay, you have to click on the data labels. You have to click on the data labels and come to label option. Then you come to number. You can format this now. If I don't want to show it, I have a lot of decimal points there. You can see number. So use 2 decimal. You can see that we now have 2 decimal. If I don't want to put any decimal, I can put 0 here. And it will also not put any decimal there in case I want to reduce my data point. So that's another thing you can also do, you can achieve with your data. So now I can see that is biotech and pharmaceutical companies are hiring the most data analysts. We have real estate and the likes. So you can also do this. This is for sector. Let me rename. You can also do this for the industry, and you can find out which industry. I don't think it's necessary for me to do that. You can find out which industry is hiring the most data analysts. This is almost 8 o'clock. So from here now, if you find out for the industry and any other information you still want on your data, so you can now create your dashboard. And how do you create your dashboard? Majority of us are familiar with creating dashboards in Microsoft Power BI, but it's also very possible for you to create a very beautiful and amazing dashboard using Microsoft Excel. So what do? You are still going to do it using Excel interface. So you can just come here. If you like, you take out the grid lines, but I like to begin with the grid lines because it will assist me to actually know how to format my data types. So the first thing I want to do here is that let me just use, because I want it to be on the page, let me use A to J. Sorry, I'm coming. View. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that means anything I do here now, I will be able to see it on a page. All right, so I want to create a page break so that you can see this line here. That means anything I put between this A and I can easily see it on the page. But anything outside this is not going to show on the page. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I'll merge this together and make it my title page. And to merge, come to home, merge, and I'll name these data analysts jobs. Okay, so I've done that. Then I can bring in my KPI, that because one thing I want you to know is that all the jobs that we are looking at are data analyst job. So let's look at what is the average salary of a data analyst. What is the average salary of a data analyst? Let me quickly duplicate one of these. The average salary. So I just want to check. I don't need this chart, so let me take the chart out. So I want to check job title and average salary. And this time around, I'm not filtering anything. Let me clear the filter. So if I come down here, I can see it here. This is the average salary of a data analyst. This is the average salary of a data analyst. So I can copy this value. Okay. I can just copy it. Let me paste it here. So this is the average salary of a data analyst. So one of my KPIs is it sheet 9? Okay, let me call this dashboard. Okay, so I'll call this so I can create a data point here. No, depending on the number of KPIs I have. So I can merge these two and say, let me merge this and call it average salary. This is based on your creativity for a data analyst. So, and I think I have it as 72. Let me just copy it. I can format this. So if this is going to be too long, let me just put it this way. So you can do a lot of you can do a lot of visuals here. You can make it anywhere you want it. You can format it. We were using blue before. So let's just continue with the blue. So use the darker shade of blue here. So this is just based on your own creativity. So you can change the fonts to whatever font you want. You can increase the size. So I'll move this from here anyway. I just remembered now that I want to impute slicers here. So I'll make. So you spend a bit of time here because you have to start arranging it based on how you think it will fit in. So you put this here. I also thought of something now. Okay. So I wouldn't want to waste too much time with this because when you are working on yours, you can I was trying to format it all right. So you can format this anyhow you want. So I can start bringing in my present all the. I wanted to create a line chart, but let's see if I can still do that. So let me copy the top 10 and I will bring it down to my dashboard. So So you can have it here. I'll just put 2 more here so that I can take questions. Let me look for the pie chart and put it here. So I can put this here. So I'm just trying to arrange it. So you just arrange it this based on so I can still put 1 more here. Let me put the sector. Let me change this to top 5 because of the space. All right, so let me copy this. Glory, is someone trying to ask a question? Did I not copy it?
I didn't get. Did you get that?
No, I didn't.
So I said the message is dropping on our chat box, not the Q&A.
Oh, okay. So I'm just trying to, because I want to show you how you can export it. And then another thing we've not spoken about is, as this chart is now, I want to introduce slicers. So now let me show you how you can do that. So I want to come here and say, coming, slicers, insert. You come to insert, and you see slicers here. I can insert a slicer, and it will ask me what kind of slicer I want to insert. I want to insert it by city. So I say, okay. So what this does is that you can see. So if it's more, because I have a lot of data points here, this might not really be a good example, but I can use, if I have less data points, like maybe, let's see, is a way of filtering your data. But let me just show you how to use it. Okay, let me show you how to use it. So as you have your slicer here, you come to, because you need to connect your slicer to your data. So you come to slicer setting and sorry, report connection, I mean. So this is, you can change the name, you can decide on the kind of sorting you want it to do. Then you come to report connection, and when you come to report connection, you tell us which of all these pivot table you want to connect to. So I want to connect to all my pivot table, so that in case I bring in any other data here and I want to change how I am connected, I can easily do that. So let me add, I want to connect this slicer to it. So the moment I connect this now watch what will happen. If I check on Addison, you can see that my data point has changed. It will only show me data for this particular city. So is what I can easily see here is that everybody that is applying here, we have about 63,000. Sorry, we have around, they are all looking for healthcare worker in this particular country. They are looking for healthcare worker, and the average salary is 63,500. So you can keep on changing it like that, and you will know the kind of, can you see? So in this particular, you can just keep going like that. Let's check Chicago. So you can see in Chicago they have a lot of other kind of job titles, and you can see that you can see the average salaries based on the job title. So these are one of the functions of your filter button. It makes your chart to be more dynamic. So I've filtered it already. So I can also customize this if I want. I can customize this, can merge this. So we have practically and conveniently created a very simple dashboard using Microsoft Excel. There are so many other things we can do. It's more than what we can cover in 2 hours. And I hope we have learned something from today's class. Please, I'll just take, it's already 8 o'clock. I'll take maybe 2 or 3 questions, and before we call it a day. And I can see that they've sent the quiz question for us. So please, if we have questions, we can ask. And we can export this. If you come to file here and you come down to share, you can see attach a copy as PDF. This is not what I wanted to do anyway, but let's see. So I'm waiting for questions. Gloria Abiodun, do we have any question? Do we have question? What is this now? This is not what I wanted to do. Wow, it has closed. Okay. Please, do we have any question? Questions, please.
Hello, Adenike. Yes, so Clement is raising up his hands.
Please give him permission to speak, please.
Yeah, Clement, please, you can go on. I just unmuted you already. Hi, Clement. Can you hear me? You can speak. I already unmuted you. Hi, Clement. Adenike, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I don't know why Clement is not speaking, but that's like the only person I can see with raising up his hands. And then I'm on the chat Q&A, but then I can't see any. Okay, I have one question here. How can one determine what and what to sort when giving a data set?
Okay, while you determine what to sort is based, it depends on the data sets that you have. Like I said, the first most important question you have to ask yourself is, what am I looking for? What is the problem I want to solve? What is the problem statement? So you have to be able to, you have to be sure that you know that. So that is what we determine what you can do with your data. And that is what is going to determine what kind of filtering, sorting, manipulations, or analysis you are going to do. There are a lot of things. What we did on pivot table today is just like, let me say we have covered 1/20 or 1/30 of what pivot table is all about. There is still a lot more to learn. But for beginner, I think this is not bad enough. So it depends on your data. So I'm trying to export this to PDF.
All right, so I think that's all I have here. Okay, so Purity got that already. Thank you. So that's all I have here for the questions, if I'm correct here. I don't know if Clement can still speak, but then I've unmuted you already.
Okay. So this
Hello,
is
can you hear me?
Okay, yeah.
I can hear you.
All right. So thank you very much, Adenike. I just wanted to find out, when you were trying to bring all the visuals to the dashboard, I thought I saw you using a short code now, instead of copying and pasting it one after the other. I thought I saw you doing something interesting, like trying to connect the visuals, individual visuals, to the dashboard that you are
Oh,
on.
okay. That was when I was working on the slicer. That was when I was working on the slicer. And I think what I did was just, let me go back to it. So before that, this is our dashboard. I've exported it to PDF. This is what we just created. And because we didn't fill up the sheet, because of the time, I could have added more visuals here. We still have some spaces here. So, but because of our time and I wanted to make sure that we understand what we're talking about. So that's just it. So for the slicer, let me go back to it. So I connected, you come to here, come to insert. Okay, let me come back to slicer. So the moment I click on the slicer, a new ribbon is on that is called slicer. When I click on it, you come to report connections. So what this means is that you want your sliders to be connected to which pivot table do you want your sliders to be connected to. So you check the pivot table you want them to be connected to. So that is what I just did. I just checked all the boxes here. But if you don't want to check all the boxes, you can click on the one that you think is important to you. So that is it. I hope that answers your question, Clement.
Yeah, yes, this one is even one of the clarification I needed. But what I wanted to find out, when you created this dashboard sheet.
Okay.
You created a dashboard sheet and you were bringing the visuals, the visuals that we created, where we brought in the top 10 cities and all that. It's not that I don't know I can copy and paste it, but I thought I saw you did something like that connected you to the dashboard instead of you copying first and going to the dashboard to go and paste it there. I don't know if
I just copied it. I didn't do any other thing. That was the only thing I did was to copy and paste.
Okay, maybe because the system was lagging at the time, I thought you did some kind of magic.
Oh, okay. No, not at all. Thank you. So can you just help us take the poll on how today's class was? Let's just know how we did today. Let me see. How would you rate today's class? Please, 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 please try as much as possible to help me rate the class. So,
I think there's a question here.
So please, a lot of people are still on this call. Chat.
Anika, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So there's a question here. Are all the charts supposed to have different slices?
No. It depends on, okay, for example, now, if I want this, my city slicer, if I want it to only control these top 10 job titles, I don't want it to control these top cities. And this is also reading top cities anyway. I can change this. So I can connect the slicers only to this. And by the time I make changes, you can have more than one slicer on your dashboard. You can have what we also call timeline in case you are working with dates. So it depends on how you want it to interact with each other. I hope that answers the question. Any other question?
And then I don't think we have any questions for now.
All right. So I want to thank everyone that stayed with us up till this time. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for voting. For filling the poll and letting me know how well I have done in this class. And thank you for sticking with us till today. Please don't forget, tomorrow is going to be another interesting section where you are going to be learning SQL. And I promise you wouldn't want to miss listening class. So please try to come to class very early. Keep your mind open. And I'm going to share my data with you. You can continue and keep on exploring and bring out a lot of insights you can bring out from this data set. And I can bet it that the more you practice, the better you become in analyzing your data. So thank you very much for staying with us this evening. I really appreciate your time. We don't take it for granted. So if you have any question, we'll be on the WhatsApp community to answer your question. Thank you very much, and please do enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye. Thank you. Thank you very much. I can see your claps. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so honored. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and enjoy